I'm John Kaiser. I'm in Vancouver at the Metals Investor Forum, November 16th, 2019. I am speaking with Kevin Keough from Evergold Corp. Kevin, welcome to Vancouver.
Thanks, John.
You have just gone public with a new company, Evergold Corporation, which has 4 projects in British Columbia. More recently, you were involved with GT Gold, which had the Keough Project, which has now the saddle projects, both the epithermal gold-silver system and what's now caught the market's attention, the copper-gold north saddle system, which people believe is going to be another Red Chris, and it's established serious backing. But this is a new venture. That thing's on its track to becoming a feasibility demonstration story. Evergold is new. It's got Charlie Gregg, who's been sort of a person in the background, vending properties, doing geology reports and stuff for various companies. But now he's here, and these properties came from him. Yeah. Tell me about why you have hooked up with Charlie Gregg with this new company and these projects.
Yes. John, in my view, to get things done in this business, especially in the early stage companies like this, you need really good field people. You need geologists who really know the rocks and who can deliver the goods. Charlie is really one of the foremost geologists in British Columbia. He's got a tremendous depth of knowledge, especially with regard to the Golden Triangle rocks. That guy is really hardworking. He's very bright, and he's a very good communicator. So years ago, Charlie and I got to know each other. I always thought that he could do very well by taking some of his best assets and putting them into a company devoted entirely to them that I could focus on because I'm good at that. So I think we make a very strong team that way, and Charlie with Evergold continues to be our key advisor for the company, technically.
Now, the flagship project is the Snowball, and I saw the presentation. I'm looking, oh my gosh, this is the top of a mountain ridge and then leading to an even higher peak.
Yeah.
And your idea is that this could end up being a bulk tonnage gold system. But I'm looking at that. How would you mine something like that if you find there? Is that going to be feasible with such steep topography that you do like mountaintop removal? Is this a concept, or do you need to find something high grade that can just be underground mine at these heights?
Let's say right now, who's to say exactly what's going to evolve from the early stage work up there? As far as whether it's an open pit or underground operation or some combination of the two, we will see what the rocks give us. If Pyramid Peak, for example, where you might have noticed we have our first drill pad built already there, if that turns out to be mineralized throughout and to be a bulk tonnage prospect, then we actually could get access up this rather gentle mountain valley that does have a precipitous head where Pyramid Peak is located, but coming up from the road is rather gentle. So we can get up there, we could switch back up the face, saddle south, and along the ridge. So access we could work out. I'm just going to wait and see what the rocks give us. If, on the other hand, it's a high-grade vein system, multiple veins related to the intrusion, theoretically we could simply add it in from the south-facing slope. So we wouldn't need a shaft, just add it in like they do in Mexico and places. That could be efficient.
Now this project, of course, in the Golden Triangle, the seasonality is just a killer.
Yeah.
The other project that you have that's drill ready is Golden Lion, and that's in the Keough district. To what extent does winter hamstring you there also? And in addition, Keough's sort of famous for the chemists, deposits, copper gold mines, but there's also all this higher grade stuff like the old lawyers mine and that.
Yes.
What's Charlie going after there with the Golden Lion in this part of northern British Columbia?
Well, Golden Lion, that's an asset Charlie has had for many years actually, and I liked it from the first time I looked at it. We debated, what we could do with it because it is remote. But when you start to look closely at it, it's not that remote. The topography there, for example, is relatively gentle in comparison to Snowball. It's not extreme. And Newmont, who did some work on Golden Line on one small portion of the property in the early 80s, actually tracked a bulldozer up to it from the lawyer's property. So we can gain access if indeed we find something substantive up there. Why it's actually exciting geologically, and I can tell you it's very exciting, it is the same Stikine terrain as the west arm of the Golden Triangle. So Snowball, KSM, all those rocks are what we have over Golden Line. They're the same age, same general setups. Duhini-Hazelton contact is right there on this property. And we believe we've got at least one major intrusive system, and outbound to that or outlying around the perimeter are all of these different zones of emerging high grade. So it's gold, silver, and copper. And honestly, we're turning up high grade of all three.
So obviously you can't start drilling this thing this winter. Both
no.
Snowball and Golden Lion are for late May, June next year to go. But you have two other projects in farther south in British Columbia. What's interesting about those ones, and could those become a focus for activity if we say get a gold bull market going and people are saying, we want you to be drilling now, doing something now. Can anything be done with those projects?
I would say yes, things can be done, but they're a little less developed than Golden Line and Snowball. Golden Line and Snowball are the flagships, and they're ready to go, and they are capable of delivering genuine discoveries right out the gate from our first phase drill programs, both of those. Our other two properties, Holy Cross, it's west of Prince George, and it is another one of these big intrusion-centered systems, but we need to do more work there. We've flown it with detailed aeromag, for example. It's got patchy geochemistry over a large area, a lot of silicification, but we need to study it more before we drill it. Spanish Lake is very interesting, but it's really dependent on the gold price. It's very similar to what they have at Spanish Mountain Gold, right? It appears that the historical operators on our property, Spanish Lake, actually have drilled into the fringes of a new Spanish Mountain style gold zone. Sub-economic, long intercepts, 80, 90 meters, probably more true widths of this sediment-hosted gold. We're going to drill test that at some point because I think it warrants doing so. But not right yet. We want to keep the focus on Snowball and Golden Line because I think that's where we can generate the greatest value in the near term.
So Spanish Lake already has a mineralized system, one of these pyritic shale hosted systems, but it hasn't been delineated because the grade isn't interesting at the, the gold price that we have.
Yeah, the previous operator, it was a company called Dagen Resources in 2011. Yes. They put in several holes into Spanish Lake, and they hit gold in all their holes. And their best holes appear to, as I said, be on the fringe of a new system. The style of alteration is identical to what they have at Spanish Mountain. It's full of micro structures in the core, argillaceous kind of material with silicification all through it. Very contorted looking stuff. So we're confident we have potentially a new zone. The question is we have no idea what its scale could be or whether it might be richer nearby. So we were intrigued by it. That's why we picked it up. Dagen walked away from that property without even filing an assessment report, which we thought was unusual.
So what we have is a junior that just came public in time for winter to shut down the Golden Triangle, where the flagship project Snowball is located. It's ready to be drilled. You've got $3 million in the treasury. You have these other projects in southern BC that need more work, where if this market turns, you could start doing something there, especially with that Spanish Lake project. But for now, for investors, this is a good stock to accumulate during the winter season and be prepared for, hopefully, a year where the Golden Triangle, which has suffered in the past year or two, comes back to life as a major focus for exploration dollars.
That's very true. What we're really offering is a very clean little company. It's only got 23 million shares tradable at the minute. All of our IPO stock, it's all free trading. Probably the majority of the company went to the IPO investors. We've got the cash, we are drill ready, we're going to turn the drills on, and as I said, because we can touch and feel a lot of these new zones we've turned up at Golden Lion and Snowball, we're pretty confident we're going to hit in the first go around. The question simply is, what does that mean in terms of intercept lengths and grades?
I've been talking with Kevin Keough, CEO of Evergold Corp. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, John.